Ethan and Lily's weekend getaway had been a brief escape from the demands of everyday life. As they returned to their family home on a quiet Sunday afternoon, they couldn't shake off the sense of unease that had settled in their chests. Their footsteps echoed through the hallway as they entered the dimly lit house. The air was heavy with silence, a stark contrast to the usual warmth that enveloped their home. "Mom?" Ethan's voice rang out, the sound seeming to dissipate into the quiet air. Lily's grip tightened on her brother's arm, a fleeting expression of worry crossing her face. The living room came into view, bathed in the soft glow of afternoon light. And there, standing by the window, was their mother. She turned to face them, her eyes obscured by the surgical bandages that covered her entire face. The sight was enough to make their hearts skip a beat. "Ethan, something's not right," Lily whispered, her voice barely audible. Their mother's presence seemed different, her body language foreign. Her movements were slow and deliberate, as if she were navigating an unfamiliar space. "Mom?" Ethan's voice trembled as he spoke, his concern mounting. The woman's lips twitched into a faint smile, but her eyes remained hidden beneath the gauze. "Ethan, Lily, you're back." Her voice was subdued, lacking the warmth they were accustomed to. Lily exchanged a worried glance with her brother. This woman looked like their mother, but something was profoundly off. The surgical bandages added to the strangeness, obscuring her features and giving her an eerie appearance. As they stood there, an unsettling feeling settled in the pit of their stomachs. The atmosphere in the room seemed to close in on them, and the woman's presence exuded an air of foreboding that was impossible to ignore. Ethan and Lily exchanged a glance, their unspoken concern echoing in the tense air. The woman who stood before them wore their mother's clothes and had her voice, but something about her was deeply unsettling. "Mom, are you okay?" Lily's voice wavered, her gaze fixed on the woman's bandaged face. The woman's smile remained fixed, her eyes hidden behind the gauze as if they were a secret she was reluctant to reveal. "I'm fine, dear. Just a little accident," she replied, her tone strangely detached. Ethan's brow furrowed as he stepped closer, a mixture of worry and confusion clouding his expression. "An accident? What happened?" The woman's response was vague, her words carefully chosen. She spoke of a minor mishap, an injury that required surgical attention. But her words did little to ease the growing unease that had settled over the room. As the conversation continued, Ethan and Lily noticed something odd. Their mother's demeanor had changed. She was usually vibrant, her eyes expressive and full of life. Now, her eyes were hidden, her movements almost mechanical. When Lily asked about the bandages, the woman's smile faltered, replaced by a fleeting expression of discomfort. "It's just a precaution. Doctor's orders," she explained, her voice strangely distant. Ethan's voice was laced with concern. "You're sure you're okay, Mom? We can take you to the doctor." But the woman's smile returned, and her reassurances seemed rehearsed. "Thank you, but I'm healing just fine." Lily's unease only grew, her intuition telling her that something was very wrong. She exchanged another glance with Ethan, the unspoken agreement to uncover the truth hanging in the air. As they continued to converse, they couldn't shake off the feeling that the woman standing before them wasn't their mother. Her words, her mannerisms, everything felt like an imitation. And as the afternoon sun cast long shadows across the room, they knew that they had to unravel the mystery hidden beneath the surgical bandages. Days turned into a relentless cycle of uncertainty for Ethan and Lily. Their mother, or whoever was impersonating her, continued to go about her daily routines, but her actions and demeanor remained off-kilter, a twisted mirror of the woman they had known. Ethan had spent hours researching online, searching for any information that might shed light on the situation. Lily had joined him, her determination fueled by a mixture of worry and fear. They had stumbled upon accounts of doppelgangers and impersonations, but nothing quite matched the eerie scenario they were facing. One evening, as the sun set and the house was cloaked in shadows, Ethan shared his findings with Lily. "It's like she's not really here. Her movements, her voice, it's all wrong." Ethan's voice trembled with a mixture of frustration and fear. Lily nodded in agreement. "And those bandages, they're hiding something. Something she doesn't want us to see." Determined to uncover the truth, they decided on a plan. The next morning, as their mother left for work, they would search her room for any clues that might explain her strange behavior. The morning came, and their mother bid them goodbye, her actions strangely stilted. Once she was out of sight, Ethan and Lily made their way to her room. The room felt different, as if a presence lingered in the air. They searched through drawers and closets, finding nothing out of the ordinary. Until they came across a small journal, hidden beneath a pile of clothes. Ethan's hands trembled as he opened it, and Lily's eyes widened as they read the first few sentences. "I don't know what's happening to me. It's like I'm losing control." The journal was filled with entries that spoke of a growing darkness within their mother, an inexplicable force that was consuming her from the inside. The words were a chilling confession, a glimpse into the horror that had overtaken her. She talks about feeling like she's being watched, like something is trying to take her over. Lily's voice quivered as she read. Ethan's gaze was fixed on the journal, his mind racing to make sense of the unthinkable. They were dealing with something beyond their comprehension, something that defied logic and explanation. As they continued to read, a sense of dread settled over them. The journal entries hinted at a malevolent force, a darkness that had infiltrated their mother's very being. And as they closed the journal, the realization hit them like a wave: the woman they had seen, the woman beneath the bandages, was not their mother. The horror of the situation washed over them, and they knew that they were facing a danger that transcended the natural world. Their mother had been consumed by something beyond their understanding, and the sinister force that had taken hold of her was now their enemy. With the truth uncovered, Ethan and Lily felt a renewed sense of determination. Their battle against the darkness was just beginning, and they were prepared to face the unthinkable to save their mother and their own lives. Armed with the unsettling truth, Ethan and Lily couldn't ignore the growing urgency of their situation. The house had become a haunted space, each corner hiding the threat of an unseen malevolence that had taken hold of their mother. Late one night, as the moon cast an eerie glow through their bedroom window, they gathered their courage to confront the imposter. They knew that they had to unveil the horror that lay beneath the surgical bandages, to expose the truth that had been hidden from them. Ethan's voice was a determined whisper. "We need to do this, Lily. We need to see what's beneath those bandages." Lily's expression was a mix of fear and resolve. "We can't let this continue. We have to find out what's happened to her." With their hearts pounding, they made their way to the living room, where the woman had been spending most of her time. The room was shrouded in darkness, illuminated only by the faint glow of the moonlight. The air seemed to carry an otherworldly tension as they approached her. She stood by the window, her form a silhouette against the night. The surgical bandages were a stark contrast against her robe, and her presence exuded an air of malevolence that sent shivers down their spines. Ethan's voice trembled as he spoke. "We need to see your face." The woman's form remained still, her eyes hidden behind the bandages. Slowly, as if she were savoring the moment, she began to unwind the gauze, revealing what lay beneath. Lily gasped, her hand flying to her mouth to stifle a horrified cry. The sight that greeted them was beyond their darkest nightmares. The woman's face was a grotesque mosaic of decay and rot, her features distorted and twisted. The stench of decay filled the air, and Ethan felt his stomach churn with a mixture of revulsion and terror. The woman's lips twitched into a chilling smile, her eyes cold and hollow. At that moment, corpses, parts of the human body, began to fall out of the closet. One head of the dead girl rolled to her mother's feet. She continued to laugh louder and louder, seeing the horror in the children's eyes. Ethan, Lily, her voice was a chilling rasp, each word sending a shiver down their spines. You've uncovered the truth. Lily's voice was shaky but determined. Who are you? The woman's laughter was a haunting melody that reverberated through the room. I am the darkness that resides within your mother. The truth that you've sought to uncover. As the reality of the situation sank in, Ethan and Lily felt a paralyzing fear grip them. The woman before them was no imposter. She was an embodiment of the darkness that had consumed their mother. And as the woman's eyes bore into theirs, they knew that they were facing an enemy that transcended the natural world. The horror they had uncovered was beyond comprehension, a malevolent force that had taken hold of their mother's very soul. The battle against the darkness had only just begun, and the siblings were determined to face the unspeakable horrors that lay ahead. But as they stood in the presence of the malevolent force that had taken hold, they knew that their lives would never be the same again. The weight of the horror they had uncovered settled over Ethan and Lily like a suffocating shroud. The woman standing before them was not just a vessel of darkness, she was a malevolent force that had taken hold of their mother's very essence. Lily's voice trembled with a mixture of fear and anger. You won't destroy us. We won't let you win. The woman's laughter echoed in the air, a chilling reminder of the power she wielded. You cannot escape the darkness within. I am what you fear, what you've always feared. Ethan's voice was laced with determination. We won't let you continue this reign of terror. We'll find a way to banish you, to free our mother from your grip. But the woman's smile was cold and calculated, her eyes hollow and devoid of empathy. Your mother is lost to me, forever trapped within the abyss of her own torment. I am what remains, a reflection of the darkness that has taken hold. Lily's voice was fierce as she spoke. We won't let you win. We'll fight you with everything we have. The woman's laughter filled the air again, a malevolent melody that sent shivers down their spines. You cannot banish what is within you. You are already mine. As the confrontation continued, Ethan and Lily felt a mix of fear and determination. The battle against the darkness was unlike anything they had ever faced. The woman's taunts, her eerie laughter, were a constant reminder of the malevolent force that had taken hold. Lily's voice was filled with a desperate hope. We won't let you destroy us. We won't let you take everything from us. As they delved deeper into the world of the supernatural, they uncovered secrets that spoke of battles waged against unspeakable forces. The rituals they prepared were fraught with danger, their consequences unpredictable. Ethan's voice was a mix of determination and fear. We have to do this. For our mother, for ourselves, for everyone who's been affected by this darkness. And as the days turned into a relentless cycle of preparation and confrontation, Ethan and Lily knew that they were facing an enemy that transcended the natural world. The battle against the darkness would push them to their limits, and the very fabric of their existence would be tested. But they were determined to banish the malevolent force, to free their mother from the abyss of torment, and to reclaim their lives from the clutches of the unthinkable horror that had taken hold. The ritual's incantations hung in the air, a fragile bridge connecting the natural and supernatural worlds. The symbols etched into the ground pulsed with an otherworldly energy, and the woman's form before them seemed to shudder in response. Ethan's voice quivered but held a steadfast determination. Each word he spoke felt like a battle cry against the malevolent force that had taken hold. Lily's gaze remained fixed on the symbols, her heart pounding in her chest. The air was thick with anticipation, and the room seemed to tremble as if reality itself were responding to their invocation. As the incantations continued, a strange energy enveloped them, wrapping them in an invisible embrace. The woman's form writhed, her voice joining theirs in a haunting chorus of sound. But as the ritual progressed, something shifted. The symbols on the ground glowed with an eerie light, their brilliance casting long shadows on the walls. The woman's voice changed, her words taking on an unearthly quality as if a second presence had emerged within her. "You cannot banish me, for I am the darkness that resides within all of you. Your fear, your guilt, it feeds me, sustains me." Lily's voice wavered, but her resolve remained unshaken. "We'll banish you, send you back to the depths from which you came." The air crackled with tension, reality warping as if the very fabric of existence were bending to their will. The woman's form convulsed, and a blinding burst of light erupted, filling the room with an intensity that left their senses reeling. In the aftermath of the blinding light, the room was cloaked in silence, a silence that felt heavy with the weight of their actions. Their ritual had succeeded, or so they thought. As the echoes of the incantations faded, the air seemed to settle, and a chilling realization washed over Ethan and Lily. The woman's form had collapsed to the ground, her body a motionless silhouette against the room's shadows. Lily's voice was filled with a mixture of concern and dread. "Is she gone?" Ethan's heart raced as he approached the fallen figure, a wave of apprehension washing over him. With cautious movements, he reached out and began to unwind the bandages that had concealed her face. As the gauze fell away, the true horror was revealed. The woman's face was a canvas of decay, her features twisted and contorted in a grotesque dance of death. The stench of decay filled the air, and Ethan's stomach churned with revulsion. Lily's voice was a mixture of fear and determination. "We did it. We banished the darkness." But as they looked upon the woman's lifeless form, they knew that their victory had come at a cost that would forever haunt them. The horror they had faced, the malevolent force that had taken hold, had left scars that ran deeper than they could comprehend. As they stood in the room that had borne witness to their battle, the moon cast an eerie glow through the window, casting long shadows that seemed to whisper of the darkness they had confronted. And as the reality of their triumph settled over them, Ethan and Lily knew that their lives would never be the same again. The battle against the darkness had forever changed them, and the echoes of their struggle would linger in their minds, a chilling testament to the horror that could consume even the strongest of souls. Days turned into a relentless cycle of uncertainty for Ethan and Lily. Their mother, or whoever was impersonating her, continued to go about her daily routines, but her actions and demeanor remained off-kilter, a twisted mirror of the woman they had known. Despite their victory in banishing the malevolent force, the echoes of their battle continued to haunt them. The symbols on the ground had faded, but the scars of the horror they had faced ran deep within their souls. One evening, as the sun set and the room was cast in an eerie twilight, Ethan and Lily gathered in the living room, seeking solace in each other's company. They were both aware that the darkness had left an indelible mark on their lives. As they spoke in hushed tones, a sudden chill filled the air, causing them both to shiver. Their heads snapped towards the corner of the room, where an unnatural darkness seemed to gather, coalescing into a shadowy form. Lily's voice was a fearful whisper. "No, it can't be." The shadowy form began to solidify, taking on a familiar silhouette, the woman, the embodiment of the darkness they thought they had banished. Ethan's voice was a mixture of anger and fear. "You're supposed to be gone. The woman's laughter echoed in the air, a haunting melody that sent shivers down their spines. "Did you really believe banishing me was enough? You can't escape the darkness within." As the room seemed to warp around them, the woman's form flickered with an otherworldly energy. Ethan and Lily felt a sense of dread settle over them, their worst fears realized. "You're mine now," the woman's voice hissed, her eyes glinting with malevolence. Before they could react, the darkness surged forward, enveloping them in a suffocating embrace. Ethan and Lily's screams were drowned out by the ominous laughter that filled the room. And as the room was swallowed by darkness, their hopes of victory shattered, replaced by a renewed reign of terror that would consume them, body and soul. The room, once a sanctuary of light and laughter, was now a haunting abyss of darkness. The malevolent force, banished but never truly defeated, had returned with a vengeance. Ethan and Lily's struggles were in vain as the darkness consumed them, body and soul. The woman, the embodiment of the evil they had battled, had returned more powerful than ever, her malevolence unyielding. Days turned into weeks, and the darkness tightened its grip, suffocating any glimmer of hope. Their screams went unanswered, drowned out by the insidious laughter that echoed through the shadows. Time lost its meaning as Ethan and Lily were subjected to an eternity of torment. Their bodies withered, their spirits broken, and the darkness became their only reality. The woman's form shifted and contorted, a grotesque dance of malevolence. Her voice, a chilling whisper that echoed in their minds, taunted them with promises of eternal suffering. "You cannot escape. You are mine." Their minds, once strong and resilient, shattered under the weight of the unending horror. Their memories faded, replaced by a haze of pain and despair. The room became a prison, the walls closing in as the darkness pressed against them. The shadows whispered of their lost lives, their futile attempts to banish the evil that now held them captive. Ethan's voice was a hollow echo of its former self. "We should have known. Evil never truly dies." Lily's gaze was vacant, her eyes empty of all emotion. "We were naive to think we could defeat it." As the darkness continued its relentless assault, their bodies decayed, their humanity stripped away. They became mere vessels for the evil that had claimed them, their identities lost in the void. And as the room descended further into darkness, the woman's laughter grew louder, a symphony of malevolence that reverberated through eternity. The battle against evil had been lost, their souls forever trapped in the grip of the darkness they had tried to vanquish. The room that had once been a sanctuary was now a prison of eternal torment, a chilling reminder that some horrors can never be defeated.